Welcome everyone. We're going to talk about graphs today. So let us begin by talking about graph of linear functions. Linear functions. So remember that we define a linear function in general this way. You say that, hey, f of x is equal to mx plus b. As you remember, m is the slope and b is called the y-intercept. Very good. So suppose we try to graph the following function. We're going to see how to graph. Let's follow the note. In our note, I gave you the function, which is f of x equals to 10x minus 7. First of all, this guy is definitely a linear function. Why is that? Because it follows the same format as we see up here. M is 10, you have variable x, you have plus b is y-intercept, which in this case is negative 7. When we try to graph a function, we're going to find x-intercept of the function. Let us try to find x-intercept. What is x-intercept? X-intercept is actually the point of intersection of graph with x-axis. So, which is, or sometimes you have multiple intercepts, which is the point of intersection with x-axis. So how do I find x-intercept? To find x-intercept, you're going to set your y value equal to 0. To find x-intercept, set y equal to 0, and solve for x. Okay, let us follow the instruction. These are the steps that we need to follow. This is my function. F of x represents my y. So 0 is equal to 10x minus 7, and we add 7 to both sides, just basic algebra. 10x is 7, then divide by 10, x becomes 7 over 10. So x is 7 over 10. What about x-intercept? X-intercept, remember, you have a point. You need to represent this with a point. X-intercept is 7, 10, and 0. At this point, the graph hits x-axis. Let's use technology like Desmos and graph this function. Y is equal to 10x minus 7. We know that we have a line, and the point of intersection of the line with x-axis, which, as you can see, it has x value and it has y value. This point is called x-intercept. Your x is 7 over 10 and your y is 0. So let us go back to board. Other than x-intercept, we are interested in finding the second point that we call y-intercept. So let us find the y-intercept. Okay, so what is y-intercept that you're talking about? Y-intercept is a point which is the point of intersection with y-axis. So x-intercept, point of intersection with x-axis. Y-intercept is point of intersection with y-axis. How do I find y-intercept? To find the y-intercept, we set x equal to 0 and solve for y. Okay, this is my equation. F of x is equal to, remember that f of x represents your y. Y and f of x are basically the same thing. So when you write f of x equals to 10x minus 7, you are writing y equals to 10x minus 7. So it says, hey, set x equal to 0 and solve for y. My y becomes 10 times 0 minus 7. Multiplication comes first. So this is 0. Y is equal to 0 minus 7 or negative 7. So when I ask you to identify y-intercept, remember that it is 1 point. In this case, 1 point. So here you have 0 and negative 7. This is your y-intercept. You can actually use Desmos and verify them. And let's go back to Desmos and check to see if this guy is actually our y-intercept or not. Let's take a look at this point. At 0 and negative 7, the graph hit y-axis.